the two names continue to be linked and fascinating, Daniel Penny and Luigi Mangione. There's nothing worse, by the way, Luigi. Rich white kids are really a pain in the ass.
Yes. Well, no, rich white kids that feel oppressed are a pain in the ass.
The Daniel Penny received a much-deserved acquittal. And I continue to see clips of CNN people who don't get it yet, don't understand what's happened to the country, don't understand why their own network is in such serious dive bomb decline. They continue to insist that Perry unlawfully took a life. Well, they're doing that because the guy's black, and they're doing that because they're highly invested in the mystery. Many of them don't even know what that means, but they're invested in it. And then you get to this Mangione, and the same people who find such significant fault with Daniel Penny, who choked a guy on the subway who was threatening to kill people, the same people who find fault with Penny, they can't help themselves but think fondly of Mangione. The dichotomy is really beyond our understanding, except to understand
that's interesting. You're right.
That this country is doomed with this kind of shallowness, this kind of stupidity, this kind of darkness. It's just incredible. They find, in fact, Mangione's looks are found to be so fetching by a lot of the female cable-type anchors that they can't help but comment about it. First of all, they're hypocrites because they're the first to cry sexism if a male would ever comment on the looks of a female. So there's that aspect of it. And the other aspect of it is they're fawning over a cold-blooded murderer.
Right. Assassin. No, assassin's too good of a word.
No, just a cold-blooded murderer who claimed his back hurt. Well, too bad. Join the club. So I will repeat what I said yesterday. I hope the Daniel Penny verdict turns the tide against this BS. Don't act up.
Right.
There are still people in America who will do the right thing. And in terms of Mangione, I don't know what to think. It depends on how the movement builds on his behalf.
What are you?
Because the same Mysterians, remember, this is why these two names they've been rattling around in my brain for 48 hours. The same people who wish to prosecute Penny because it was a notch in their anti-patriarchy gun. That's another notch. It was a white guy, an oppressor, who killed this poor black guy. Never mind that he was a career screwed up criminal who was threatening to kill people.
Right.
The same people who wanted to prosecute Penny to the fullest extent and see him rot in jail are the same people who will, in order to keep up their bona fides in the mystery club, they also have to hate capitalism. So now where are they when it comes to prosecuting Mangione? He's only been charged with second-degree murder. I guess I don't know the degrees, but wouldn't that be an example of first degree?
You would think so.
Premeditated.
Shot him in the back.
What the hell?
He wrote about it.
Let me ask you, what is your vibe right now on Mangione percentage-wise? Is it 50-50 or you get 80-20?
No, let me finish my thought. Let me finish my thought. The same people that wanted to fry Penny for doing the right thing might become the same people who don't want to fry Mangione for doing the wrong thing. That's how upside down we are as a culture. Now, I think Mangione will be prosecuted. I don't think we've reached the point where we're going to let a murderer walk free. But there'll be episodes throughout this where you'll begin to wonder whether they really don't care that he murdered Thompson or whatever dynamic comes up. But the same people who wanted to fry Penny they're less livid about There's a good way to put it. They're less livid about Mangione than they were about Penny. That's where we are. And isn't that a fine how do you do?
How do you do?
What the hell? I'm reading from the Center of the American Experiment today, a David Zimmer piece on the not guilty verdict being a win for self-defense. I think it is too, but I don't think the coast is clear. We went through this yesterday. I still think Reavers is in serious trouble with Mary Moriarty if he would take action on a Green Line light rail train. I still think there's a great deal of hesitancy and caution to do the right thing, which makes Penny's behavior all the more noble. He put that he took that risk.
Right.
He didn't get up that morning hoping he had a chance to intervene in a critical situation. But when the chance came, he did it. And there is no evidence whatsoever that Penny isn't a good guy. I've read everything I can. Have you read about him? There's nothing nothing in his character or his background to suggest he's not a good guy. And these same miserable benders of the prosecutorial rules are, I think they're beside themselves on what to do with this Luigi Mangione. Luigi. Who in the hell names a kid Luigi? If you're on the Isle of Sicily, maybe.
Somebody's got a lot of money.
I can't foghorn it. It's spelled correctly.
Well, there was the famous plumber that was a Luigi.
No, it was Mario.
Him and his brother Mario.
Yeah, the plumbing industry. Yeah.
The Mario brothers. Mario and Luigi.
That sound you hear is that airplane going right over Joe's head.
Right, it's very low.
No, Kenny, unfortunately, I know about Luigi and Mario.
He's probably spent about $10,000 on Luigi and Mario games and consoles.
No, I haven't.
Did you like the movie? Were you a bigger fan of the movie or the video game?
I liked the movie better.
Didn't see the movie.
So, I'm hesitant about making this analogy, the one you just made. Could you also say the same thing about George Floyd and Thompson? Was that too deep or too far afield?
Help me expand
Well,
on
George
expand on your
Floyd-
context.
George Floyd was made to be a hero, an innocent man pulled out of the masses and killed right there on the street. Thompson descended or came up from the depths of hell in a lot of people's minds. Is that an same analogy, or am I just
I think it's.
reaching?
I don't think it's inaccurate.
It's just amazing to me the last few days how we've been talking about how everything is so upside down.
The problem you're going to have building the mystery, which is the diminishing of this country, which will happen by the diminishing of patriarchy. The problem the Mysterians are going to have is that all the parties are white. So that really throws them a wrinkle. They can't paint Brian Thompson as the oppressed. Not at $10.5 million a year, and he's white. They're going to have a real hard time painting him as oppressed, and they're going to have a real hard time painting the rich kid Luigi as having been oppressed. So they have a real wrinkle to face here, but it will they will wrestle with it.
That's it. Okay, George was the oppressed.
Yeah, and a white cop was the oppressor.
And Thompson was the oppressor.
Yeah, but also
killed
by an oppressor.
Right. Interesting.
So where how does this play out? You know, who do you root for? Well, for sanity, you root for the law.
Right.
In the case of Penny, the law prevailed.
Yeah.
In the case of Mangione, I can only assume. Assume means when you're not entirely sure. A man fell out of an airplane at 33,000 feet. He was presumed dead. So you don't have to assume it.
Right.
But I'm only at the assume stage with Mangione. I can only assume the law will prevail. I'm not certain that it will. That's how weird this is.
Right.
That's how weird life has become.